Today on Inspiring Careers, we have Delray Dorsey with us. He's the VFW State VSO officer. He's going to share his background and the amazing things he's doing for veterans all around the state of Massachusetts. Thank you for being on the show today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So Delray, you spent 4 years in the Navy. Tell us a little bit about your background and where you got to today.
Yeah, I did 4 years in the Navy. I was stationed in Newport, Rhode Island on an USS Samuel B. Roberts from 88 to 92. I was a petty officer, third class, best time of my life, 18 years old. It's the thing to do. The funny thing is my background is in emergency medical field. So the story, just a brief story, is when I got out in 92, I had I didn't know what I was going to do, so I went to a VA facility about VA healthcare, and they told me I wasn't disabled enough to get healthcare. So I was like, oh geez, what am I going to do in my life? I looked up at a telephone pole and it said, become an EMT, $300. I was like, well, I can scrounge $300 together, and 26 years later, I'm still in the emergency medical field, working in Boston at Tufts Medical Center.
So the Navy took you to Rhode Island, you were telling me, right?
Yes.
Because I was saying, you come from Illinois, and your family, you were raised on the farm.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I was raised on a family farm, and farming is a tough life, and seeing a family struggle, year after year after year just to get by, I didn't think that was something that I wanted to do. I didn't want to follow in them footsteps. So the opportunity came, and it was interesting. It was very interesting.
And then you also told me that your father was a Vietnam veteran.
Yes, he was a Vietnam veteran. The only thing we knew growing up was that he was in the Army. That's all he would say. And he passed away a couple of years ago, and we were going through his closet, cleaning out his stuff, and we found his medals and different things, his DD-214 that had, Vietnam service on it. And that's something that he never discussed with us. He always just said that he served in the Army. That's all he wanted us to know,
That's really important for us to talk about that a little bit, because we help veterans. Veterans have trauma, veterans have been in war, veterans are out there, and some of them do not want to talk about the horrors, the things that they've seen, and people need to understand that. And what you're doing now as the state service officer, please explain to us exactly what that means.
As a state service officer, one of our main goals is we help the veteran cut the red tape, because the VA claims process is a very bureaucratic process. It's all paper. It's all detailed, and it's hard for someone to navigate that without assistance or an advocate.
And think about that, someone who may be depressed, someone that doesn't understand, there's a lot of things that you need to realize that you do need to be handheld to go through this administrative process.
Right. My office and my service officers that I have throughout the state, I have a total of 4 service officers in every section of the state, in VA medical facilities and community-based outreach clinics. The VFW, we don't just do the claims. If a veteran comes in looking for services and doesn't know where to go, my service officers will, let's say he's looking for mental health services. My service officers will actually stop what they're doing and take him to mental health to get him set up with these programs. If someone needs a primary care doctor or needs to sign up for VA health care, my service officers will actually assist them and point them in the right direction of doing that.
Now, you were telling me that you became a member of the VFW back in 2011. How did you end up working to become now the state officer? And tell us a little bit about that little career progression there.
Well, it's funny. I was one of the youngest veterans to join my local VFW post. So right away it was like, oh, we're looking for you're pretty smart with computers. Yeah, why don't you be our post adjutant? And then it just started escalating from there. It'd go from like post adjutant to, the next year I was the post commander for, 3 years. And then, I got involved in the district with, was 2-year district commander. Actually, our state judge advocate, Michael Raymond, was the assistant state service officer for the VFW working out of the Brockton VA. And he had actually changed careers and moved to another position. And I was interested in it, and you know, I interviewed, I applied for the position, and I actually ended up getting it. And you know, it's been great.
And,
you know.
and we are so lucky to have you because what is the turnaround time on a claim in your office?
Depending on the severity or the number of issues claimed, a moderate claim, let's say a 3 or 4 issue claim, it's an 83-day turnaround from start to finish. But what we do in the VFW, different than I feel of anyone else, is we actually do, the only thing a veteran leaves our office with is a handshake, a smile, and a business card. We do all the paperwork for the veteran. Let's say, for example, that it's a PTSD case. The VA is going to, there's certain forms the VA needs. They'll need what they call a stressor statement. Now, what we do is, we do everything the VA is going to ask for prior to the VA asking for it. So let's just take a standard PTSD claim. Veteran comes in, he wants to put in for PTSD. We'll do the claim form. We will actually give him that stressor statement to take home, fill out, and get it back to us in 15 days. What the VA does is, if you don't have that stressor statement, they'll go ahead, they'll get the claim, they'll start pulling your records, then they'll send you a letter, say 30 days down the road. Oh, we need to verify the incident in service. Can you please fill out this form 781? We'll give you 30 days to get it back to us. Now you're already 60 days into the claims process before they even start a background research on the incident. What we do is we cut that number in half. You know, the VA will ask for private medical records, you know, or a release of medical information from the VA. We do that for the veteran right there in our office.
Right.
So we submit it as one before the VA is going to ask for it, which in turn cuts down the claims process time.
So we're definitely increasing the speed of the benefits. And what did you bring in last year for 2019 for all the compensation?
Altogether for the year was $18 million in compensation that we got for veterans in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. One thing with my office is we're automated. We have what they call direct-to-direct upload on our computer systems. So when you come in to do a claim, you sign electronically. That claim is in the VA within 2 minutes. It's already in the VA system within 2 minutes. So there's no more mailing claims in or faxing claims up. We do everything digitally, direct upload, so that's to the VA within 3 minutes.
What kind of advice would you give to veterans out there who want to put in a claim?
Seek out an accredited service officer. All the VFW service officers in the state of Massachusetts and the country are accredited through the VA. They have an actual VA accreditation number through the Office of General Counsel. So you could go to va.gov, type in you know, accredited service officers in Massachusetts, and all of the VFW service officers will come up with an accreditation number. We get 80 hours of training a year. It's a week training in Annapolis, and then a week training in Pennsylvania. And it's all taught by our National Veteran Services in Washington, D.C. For example, we have law judges, actual VA law judges that come in and teach us on the appeals process. We have actual VA raters come in and train us on how the rating procedures go. You know, we get trained by VA personnel.
You also mentioned something else about what is the most important thing when it comes to medical records that we need to advise our veterans?
You need to have the medical records. I mean, the VA doesn't want to deny anyone. You know, the VA wants to approve everyone, but they can only go by what they can go by in the law. So let's say, for example, that, you know, someone got out in 1992, 2019, they put in a claim for a low back pain. Now the VA is going to look at it and be like, okay, you got out in 92, it's now 2019, where is there a progression from within a year of getting out of your back pain? Have you sought treatment until then, and is it getting worse? You know, because if there's no medical records there, the VA is like, okay, it's, you know, you got out in 92, it's now you're just now in 2019 putting a claim in. What occupations or what could have happened in between them years that could have caused the back pain? How is it service connected? You know, the most advice I can give the young, the veterans that are in now is anytime you go to sick call or have any problem, make sure it gets documented.